What's going on, everybody? Jeff Holiday here, and today we're gonna make kind of a public service announcement video because of something that is really driving me goddamn crazy. Goddamn crazy. In the span of doing this channel, I have to deal with some very frustrating things, some very frustrating topics. I have to talk about people getting hurt, people hurting their kids, people blindly following the stupidest pseudoscience out there and inadvertently really messing themselves and the people they love in really, really bad ways, in ways that are wholly preventable as long as you just simply listen to people who were scientific experts or doctors or somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, rather than somebody trying to sell you a load of bullshit just so that they can make a buck off of you and your ignorance. But there is something that I think is universally reviled, something that is so distasteful and gross that I don't think there's really a person out there except the most soulless, vile human beings on the planet that everybody can agree this is something that we should probably pay attention to. And that's when people hurt animals. For instance, there's this article, Why Parvovirus Isn't as Scary as You Think. This flaming pile of dog shit comes to us from dogsnaturallymagazine.com. You look at things like under the remedies, homeopathy? Oh, wow, homeopathy for doggos? Really? Wow, the benefits of cell salt, save your dog's life with 3 homeopathic remedies. Real hard-hitting journalism here. Anyway, back onto this article. Parvovirus is terrifying, especially when a case of just one dog with parvo is described as an outbreak in the press. This case, reported on July 14, 2016, was successfully contained and the shelter reopened on July 25th. Of course, a parvo case at a shelter is especially worrying because dogs are housed close together. Their immune systems are likely compromised because they're so stressed, so contagious disease can quickly spread. And parvo can kill. A quick search brings up reports of a 90% mortality rates for untreated cases. Now, all of that is basic information about parvo, and for the most part, it's right. But really, the worrying thing about this article is further down the page. Not surprisingly, this is a topic people get quite upset about. Most people who have witnessed a puppy suffering from parvo will react with near hysteria if you hint at the possibility that your puppy may be better off unvaccinated. Really? But there's quite a lot of evidence to suggest that's the case. First of all, parvo vaccination doesn't always protect against the disease. Since vaccinated puppies shed the virus for up to 3 weeks after their shots, vaccination can contribute to spreading the disease. You fucking idiot! What the fuck? Let's just stop for a second and assume that might be true. Let's just assume. Then why aren't all the other dogs also vaccinated against parvo? If everybody's vaccinated, everybody's fine. That would totally eliminate the whole issue. If the dog is not vaccinated and comes into contact with parvo, not only is it shedding the virus, which really, when somebody starts talking about a virus shedding in regards to vaccinations, they don't know what they're talking about. They're talking a bunch of bullshit. But in both scenarios, this puppy gets into contact with parvo. In one, it gets sick and spreads the virus to a bunch of other dogs. In the other, it doesn't get sick and it spreads the virus to a bunch of other dogs. Even if this was the actual single solitary case that they tried to use as an argument, it doesn't fucking work because at least one more dog is protected. How is this a good argument? How are you people so fucking dumb about this? So next up on the article, they start talking about parvo vaccine efficacy. And in this, they're citing cases reported in 2010 in this industry magazine showing that a high number of animals that were reported having parvo had the parvo vaccination. Now, whether this is true or not is ultimately irrelevant because that doesn't have any statistics on whether or not these animals survived. This is all basically one big setup for them to get to the next section, which is right here. Parvo survival rates. Homeopathic veterinarian Todd Cooney. Okay, listen, if you ever use the term homeopathic veterinarian in your professional title, you might as well hang a sign around your neck that says, please, for the love of fuck, kick the shit out of me in a YouTube video, Jeff Holiday. Because my fucking God, I don't think I've ever been more attracted to wanting to truly and utterly destroy the shit out of somebody than when somebody says, I'm a homeopathic veterinarian. Fuck you. I cure animals with my magic woo-woo water. Fuck off. Anyway, homeopathic veterinarian Todd Cooney stopped using parvo vaccinations in 2010. He switched to using wellness packages that included homeopathic nosodiz? What the? No. Bullshit. Are homeopathic medicines made from the products of disease. They can be highly effective in protecting against disease, especially if they're used close to the time of exposure. Dr. Cooney monitored his practice case records over an 18-month period. Here's what he observed. Of 175 puppies who got the wellness package, 12 got parvo. 10 survived and 2 died. 35 other puppies who did not receive the wellness package also came down with parvo. 20 survived and 15 died. 19 of the 47 total puppies who got parvo had been vaccinated. And there's more to the story. Let's think about this for a second. One, I don't trust the actual statistics being put forward by any dumb shit motherfucker who's going to call himself a homeopathic veterinarian. No, I don't believe anything you say. Also, is the study linked in here? Where is it? Strange? No, his study is not linked in here whatsoever. I am not going to believe, just because you write it in dogsnaturallymagazine.com, that this dude ever did anything of the kind that you are describing. Not at all. Why would I? But even more so, can we please talk about the fact that 175 puppies he elected to not vaccinate against parvo, an incredibly lethal and contagious disease. He intentionally put 175 little puppies at risk for his research. Can we talk? Am I going fucking crazy here? What's really frustrating about this is not an isolated incident. This kind of shit is all over the place because of how deregulated supplement industry and homeopathic woo-woo bullshit is, and the fact that this is animals and not children. That you can get away with putting 175 puppies in danger, and you can't do that with kids. People will fucking pay attention. But nobody does pay attention to this happening with animals because, well, they're animals, they're pets. We usually consider them lesser forms of life. But at the same time, this is where things get really, really nefarious, because people who believe this kind of shit then have their dogs, they don't get their dogs protected, and if their dogs can magically somehow survive, they then take your dogs around places where your dog, if you have a young puppy that hasn't yet gotten a vaccine for parvo, could otherwise get infected. And these people are spreading the fucking disease. They fucking are. I mean, it's super easy. Go to fucking Google, type in parvo on the rise, canine parvovirus on the rise, reported dog deaths on the rise as parvo cases spike in Clay County. Parvovirus on the rise in Indiana. Parvovirus in dogs on the rise in northern Santa Barbara County. Alarming rise reported in canine parvovirus in North County. Parvovirus cases seem to be on the rise in the Phoenix area. On the rise in Saginaw County. On and on and on. Over and fucking over. Meanwhile, the people who believe shit like they read in Dog Naturally magazine are all patting themselves on the fucking back. Oh my God, Mitchell, I decided we're not going to be vaccinating Scruffy because I'm a wellness warrior. Fuck you, Linda. Vaccinate your fucking dog. And it's not just parvovirus either. Like, this is some serious shit. There are vaccines that you really need to give your animals. For dogs, the core vaccines are distemper, adenovirus, parvovirus, and rabies. And I really shouldn't have to show you footage of animals dying of rabies. But if this keeps up, I'm going to have to make another video, and we're going to have to watch an animal suffering from rabies. Is this what it takes? Is this what it takes for fucking Mitchell and Linda to finally get it through their thick fucking skulls over in Sedona to finally goddamn vaccinate their animal. For cats, viral rhinotracheitis, calcivirus, panleukopenia, I think that's a cat leukemia maybe, and also rabies. Rabies is very, very, very virulent, and that's a big one. You need to vaccinate your animals against rabies, because if they get bit and they don't got that rabies vaccination, they can, in some counties, get legally put down. You don't want that. That would be bad. But what we're really talking about here is parvo. And despite the fact that it has a very cute and fluffy fucking name, this is a really, really deadly and devastating virus. It is a very, very bad news bears for your little animal. Parvo is a highly contagious virus. It causes an infection, gastrointestinal illness in puppies and young dogs, and without treatment, it is potentially deadly. The canine parvovirus causes parvo in dogs. It can be transmitted in 2 ways. The first is by direct contact through the nose and mouth with infected poop, which can happen when a dog sniffs or licks the surface, or another dog that has been contaminated with feces. Since puppies explore the world through smell and love to mouth things, it's easy to see how a curious puppy could contract the parvovirus. And that's, that's kind of understandable. Puppies like to stick their noses in each other's buttholes, and, dogs are gross. We don't deserve them. They're wonderful. I love dogs. But they're pretty nasty sometimes, too. But here's where things get really spooky, and I really want you to pay attention. The second method of transmission is through indirect contact. The virus can survive on clothing, equipment, human skin, and in the environment. Indirect transmission occurs when a puppy comes into contact with a contaminated person, object, or environment. The parvovirus is a particularly resilient virus. It can survive indoors at room temperature for at least 2 months. And is resistant to many commonly used cleaners and disinfectants. Outdoors, the parvovirus can survive for months and even years if protected from direct sunlight, which is why hospital quarantine of the infected dog and proper cleanup of the environment are especially important. It can live in the dirt. It can live in the fucking dirt. Now let's put on our thinking caps here for a fucking second, okay? You've got a dog, and you love your dog, but you, for whatever reason, were listening to Mitchell and Linda in Sedona and got convinced that maybe you just should not vaccinate your dog. And then you take your dog, not knowing that it got riddled with fucking parvo, to a dog park where the dog takes a shit. Sure, you clean up the poop. You're a responsible pet owner, after all, but did you really get all of it? Did you really get all of it? That poop, if then gets in some way into the soil, could potentially contain parvo. It can sit there for months until somebody with an itty bitty little puppy comes walking along, or a dog that's just unvaccinated, and suddenly you just caused a fucking outbreak of fucking parvo in your entire county. That's how this happens. This isn't alarmist shit. This is science. And again, if I have to point this out, and I really shouldn't have to because you really should have been paying attention by now, parvo on the rise, parvo on the rise, parvo on the rise. And why? Because of people. Because people are stupid. Because people get these stupid ideas in their head that somehow viruses are safer than vaccines. And some people even think that dogs can get autism from their vaccines. This is... Listen, the anti-vaxxers are not sending their best, okay? Look, it's very simple. When you take on the responsibility of owning a pet, that means you're responsible for their well-being. That includes protecting them from viruses, from disease, and that means you need to get them vaccinated. I don't care what some idiot on the internet with a Karen Talks to the Manager haircut told you about the dangers of pet vaccination. They're an idiot. Shut the fuck up. Don't listen to a homeopathic veterinarian either, because that is some wackadoo fucking bullshit. Go talk to a real veterinarian. Go talk to somebody who understands the science behind this. And go get your fucking pets vaccinated. God damn it. Anyway, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for your attention. Please, please, please vaccinate your fur babies. And give them a scritch behind the ears from me. See you next time for my family dears. Bye-bye, everybody.